The U.S. and Japan are speaking out against the nuclearization of space. They've proposed a resolution at the UN Security Council urging nations to adhere to the Outer Space Treaty, which bars sending nukes into orbit. Now, this comes after Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that he wanted to build a nuclear-powered space station on the moon. Washington believes Moscow will use that to deploy nuclear weapons in space. Now, Russia is in fact party to the Outer Space Treaty, but the question is, will President Putin adhere to the rules? Our next report has the details.
Looking for a new cafe to try out? Just use your phone to find the directions. Not sure how to dress for the unpredictable spring weather? Don't worry, smartphones will tell you the weather in real time. But have you ever wondered, how did navigation, meteorology, and so many other complicated technologies become so widely and easily available? In short, it's because of satellites. These giant space vessels have made lives easy. Satellites relay data back to Earth, allowing billions of humans to access navigation, weather, television, and even the internet. Space technology has surely enabled humankind to use the benefits of space unlike ever before. And the big geopolitical powers have made space another battleground. Throughout the Cold War, the US and the Soviet Union competed in space. There were concerns about the weaponization of space, and it looks like those nerves still hold relevant. In recent months, Russian President Vladimir Putin has kickstarted a campaign to send nuclear technology to space. Putin wants to work with China to establish a space station on the moon. Nuclear technology will power the Lunar station, and the Russian president is serious about the project getting liftoff.
I wanted to tell you one thing. All projects are important, all of them. But I'd like to highlight one thing. You've mentioned several spheres where we are highly competent. Some of them already have work in progress that we can be proud of. The ones that we can count on in the future. For example, the nuclear-powered unit for work in space that you've mentioned. It needs to be funded on time. This sphere is important. We've gotten used to having skills that other countries do not have. But this sphere needs to get special attention from us. For it firstly to develop and secondly to be used in the future in order to fill the tasks that require this technology.
Now, nuclear technology in space, whether for military purposes or civilian, is a cause of concern, because any potential disaster would disrupt thousands of other satellites and send them shooting towards Earth. And that would be catastrophic. Nations are pushing back on Putin's nuclearization of space. First is America, the only country to have dropped nuclear bombs. Joining them is Japan, the only country to have faced nuclear disasters time and again.
Japan firmly believes that outer space must remain a domain free of nuclear weapons, and that it is our common responsibility to fully comply with the existing legal frameworks, including the Outer Space Treaty.
And supporting Japan is the United Nations.
Japan knows better than any country on Earth the brutal cost of nuclear carnage. But almost 8 decades after the incineration of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, nuclear weapons still represent a clear and present danger to global peace and security.
Meanwhile, the United States has urged Russia to reconsider sending nukes to space.
The issue of outer space and the treaty governing it. Let me be clear. Any placement of nuclear weapons into orbit around the Earth would be unprecedented, dangerous, and unacceptable.
The US and Japan have proposed a UN Security Council resolution, stressing the need for nations to comply with the Outer Space Treaty, which bars sending nuclear weapons to space. Now, Russia is party to the 1967 Outer Space Treaty and has repeatedly affirmed that it will abide by it. However, Washington says that Moscow has already developed an anti-satellite nuclear weapon and intends to deploy it. So will Russia violate the Outer Space Treaty? Or will they toe the line of the United Nations? The ball is now in Putin's court.